Well, October marks Fire Prevention Month, and it's time to face a startling fact. 3 out of 5 fire deaths occur in homes without working smoke alarms.
The power goes out and everything you own becomes either useful or completely irrelevant. Your Wi-Fi router is a paperweight. Your smart fridge is a box. Your phone counts down to 0. What you have physically in that moment determines everything. This is not a doomsday scenario. This is a Tuesday in February for millions of households every year. 14 items that become priceless the moment the lights go out. Keep watching for number 1. It saves lives and most people do not have a working one. Number 14. A hand crank or battery-powered weather radio. When the grid goes down, your first question is whether this is a short outage or a serious situation requiring action. That question sounds simple. Without information, it is completely unanswerable. You cannot answer that question with a dead phone and no internet. But a battery-powered or hand crank weather radio answers it for free. NOAA weather radio. All hazards broadcast continuously on dedicated frequencies and covers over 95% of the continental United States. It transmits severe weather alerts, emergency management messages, and real-time public safety information that no social media feed can match during a major event. During major grid failures, this is often the only real-time emergency information available to people without generators. It is the difference between knowing to shelter in place, knowing to evacuate, and not knowing anything at all. That information gap costs lives in major events. A quality hand crank weather radio costs between $20 and $40 and typically includes a solar charging panel, a USB port for charging phones, an LED flashlight, and an alarm function. It requires no batteries if you are willing to crank it for a few minutes. 1 minute of hand cranking produces approximately 10 to 15 minutes of radio use. Buy one now. Leave it in a fixed location everyone in your household knows, not a random drawer. Update the batteries annually on a fixed date. When the grid goes down is not when you want to be learning this exists. The next item on this list is one of the most overlooked pieces of emergency equipment in the average household, hiding in plain sight and almost universally neglected. Number 13. Cash, small bills. Electronic payments die when the grid goes down. Debit cards, credit cards, contactless payments, all of them require power at the point of sale. Even gas stations with generators may not have a working card reader. ATMs require power. Your entire digital wallet becomes inaccessible at exactly the moment you need it most. The infrastructure you depend on every day requires grid power you cannot control. Cash in small bills is the only universally accepted currency during a grid failure. Not hundreds, 20s, 10s, and 1s. Nobody wants to make change during an emergency, and nobody is going to trust that your app works. Nobody has change during an emergency. Nobody wants to break 100 for a bag of ice. Small bills make transactions smooth when everything else is complicated. Financial experts recommend keeping a minimum of $300 in small bills in a secure, accessible location at home. Ideally, $500. Not because $500 is a lot of money, but because it is enough to handle most 3-day emergency scenarios without any electronic infrastructure. This is not about being paranoid. It is about understanding that our payment infrastructure depends on a power grid that occasionally fails. Store the cash in a fireproof container or a sealed waterproof bag alongside other emergency documents. Know exactly where it is and make sure the people in your household know too. Not subscribed yet? Fix that now. We cover emergency preparedness and money-saving content every single week. The item coming up next is the one that makes the first night tolerable and costs almost nothing to prepare properly. Number 12. Quality flashlights with fresh batteries. This sounds obvious until you go looking for your flashlight during an actual power outage and discover it has been living in a kitchen drawer for 3 years with dead batteries inside it. This happens in approximately every household that has not deliberately maintained their emergency supplies. It is not a character flaw, it is a preparation gap. The solution is simple. 1 quality LED flashlight per person, stored in consistent known locations. Replace the batteries every 12 months on a fixed date, your birthday, New Year's Day, Whatever anchor you will actually remember. LED flashlights are dramatically more efficient than older incandescent models. A set of fresh alkaline batteries and a quality LED flashlight will provide 6 to 10 hours of reliable light, enough to get through a full night and most of the next day. Headlamps are even more useful than handheld flashlights for extended outage situations because they leave both hands free. Cook a meal, carry supplies, tend to children, or perform basic repairs without holding anything. Keep a headlamp per adult in the house. They cost between $10 and $25 and are the single most frequently used emergency item in extended outage scenarios. The next item is one that many people assume they are fine on, and most people are not fine on at all. Number 11. A 3-day water supply. Your home's water pressure depends on electrically powered pumps at the utility level in most municipalities. When the grid fails for an extended period, that pressure drops and in some cases stops entirely. The duration depends entirely on factors you cannot control. It may not happen in the first hour. It often happens by day 2. And when it does, you have no water for drinking, cooking, flushing, or washing. FEMA recommends storing 1 gallon of water per person per day for a minimum of 3 days. For a family of 4, that is 12 gallons minimum. That sounds like a lot until you think about how much water you use on an average morning before you leave the house. The medical reality is more demanding. 1 gallon per day covers drinking and basic sanitation. If you live somewhere hot, if someone in your household is ill, or if you need to cook regularly, the actual daily requirement is closer to 2 gallons per person. Commercial bottled water works for short-term situations. Food-grade water storage containers with a shelf life of up to 25 years are available for around $30 for a 5-gallon unit. They stack in a closet, require no maintenance, and are ready to open the moment you need them. Alternatively, fill your bathtub when you hear a major storm is coming. A standard bathtub holds 60 to 100 gallons. That is a significant reserve for washing, flushing, and non-drinking use. Water is the item most people think they are covered on, and least often are. Store more than you think you need, because 3 days without reliable water is not an inconvenience. It is a genuine emergency. What is ahead is something people stock almost universally, but stock incorrectly. And the distinction matters when the grid has been down for 2 days. Number 10. A manual can opener. Canned food is the ideal emergency food supply. It requires no refrigeration, has a shelf life measured in years, and contains everything from complete protein sources to fruits, vegetables, and soups. A manual can opener is what transforms those cans from sealed metal containers into actual food. This seems so obvious that it belongs on no list. And yet, in the aftermath of major power outages, hardware stores and dollar stores consistently report running out of manual can openers within hours. People own electric can openers. They do not own manual ones. When the power goes out, they discover cans of food they cannot open. Buy 2 manual can openers right now. Put one in your emergency kit and one in your regular kitchen drawer. They cost between $3 and $12 each. While you are at it, think about what you are stocking in the cans. Prioritize high-calorie, high-protein options: canned chicken, tuna, beans, lentils, and soups. Add canned fruit for variety and morale. A good emergency pantry has at least a 72-hour supply of shelf-stable food per person. Most households have considerably less than that. And the next item is the one that gets dangerously neglected in the modern household. Number 9. Prescription medications, a 30-day buffer. This is the item that genuinely becomes a medical emergency during extended grid failures rather than a convenience problem. Pharmacies require power to operate their dispensing systems. Many cannot process insurance during outages. Transportation disruptions compound the problem. People on critical medications, blood pressure, diabetes, heart, seizure, psychiatric, face genuinely dangerous situations if they run out during an extended outage. This is not a theoretical risk. It happens in every major multi-day outage event. The solution is building a buffer. Talk to your doctor about getting a 30-day advance prescription. Many insurers will allow an early refill if you explain the reason. Some pharmacies offer emergency dispensing protocols during declared disasters. Know your pharmacy's specific policy before you need it. Knowing what is available in a calm moment is significantly easier than discovering the policy during a crisis. Store medications in a cool, dark location and know the precise storage requirements for each one. Some medications become less effective or actively harmful at high temperatures. Know which ones you take and what their limits are. If you have a family member who depends on any critical medication, treating a 30-day buffer as non-negotiable emergency equipment is one of the highest return preparation investments you can make. The next item is cheap, easily overlooked, and responsible for more grid-down medical complications than almost anything else on this list. Number 8. First aid kit, fully stocked. Not the small red box with 2 bandages and an outdated antiseptic wipe. A real, complete, properly stocked first aid kit. When the grid goes down, urgent care clinics may be closed, hospital emergency rooms may be overwhelmed, and getting to medical care may be logistically complicated. Minor injuries that would normally be handled in 15 minutes at a walk-in clinic become situations you handle yourself. Cuts, burns, sprains, allergic reactions, these happen regardless of whether the power is on. A comprehensive first aid kit should include multiple sizes of adhesive bandages, sterile gauze pads, medical tape, antiseptic solution, antibiotic ointment, hydrocortisone cream, and tweezers. Also scissors, a digital thermometer, disposable gloves, an instant cold pack, and a basic first aid manual. Pre-assembled comprehensive kits are available for between $25 and $60. Check the contents before you trust the label. Many budget kits are critically incomplete. Know how to use what you have. A kit is only useful if you understand basic wound care. Know when a situation requires professional attention regardless of logistics, and practice acting calmly before you need to. Consider taking a basic first aid and CPR course. The American Red Cross offers them regularly, and they typically cost around $20 to $30 for a combined class. This is not preparation for a specific scenario. This is the base level of household medical preparedness that should exist independently of any emergency planning. The item ahead of this one is something your grandparents understood and your generation has largely forgotten, and that gap is showing up in emergency situations. Number 7. A portable propane or butane camp stove. Your electric range does not work when the power is out. Your induction cooktop does not work. Even most modern gas ranges have electronic ignition systems that will not light without power. A portable camp stove runs on small propane or butane canisters and requires no electricity to operate. You have hot food and boiling water, regardless of what the grid is doing. Hot food during an extended outage is not just a comfort issue. It is a morale issue, a calorie density issue, and in cold weather, a core temperature issue. A quality single-burner camp stove costs between $20 and $50. A set of 4 propane canisters costs around $10 to $15 and represents approximately 12 to 20 hours of cooking time on low to medium heat. Store at least 8 canisters. That provides roughly 30 to 40 hours of cooking time, enough for a week of basic meal preparation. Use camp stoves outdoors or in extremely well-ventilated spaces only. Propane and butane produce carbon monoxide. A well-ventilated garage with the door open is acceptable. A closed kitchen is not. This distinction has killed people during grid-down events, and it is entirely preventable. A carbon monoxide detector should always be part of your emergency kit for exactly this reason. More on that in a moment. Treat this as a non-negotiable pairing. Camp stove and CO detector go together the same way a car and a seatbelt do. The next item on the list is the one that becomes currency in an extended outage. Every neighbor will want some. Most people will not have enough. Number 6. Ice and a quality cooler. Your refrigerator stays cold for approximately 4 hours without power if you keep the door closed. Resist the urge to check constantly. Every time you open it, you release cold air and shorten that window. Your freezer maintains temperature for up to 48 hours if full and completely sealed. After those windows, the food inside begins to spoil. For a typical household, that represents hundreds of dollars in lost groceries. A quality hard-sided cooler packed with block ice extends food safety significantly. block ice melts more slowly than cubed ice. A large block can last 3 to 5 days in a sealed cooler in moderate temperatures. Buy block ice before a predicted storm rather than after. It sells out within hours, often before the storm has even arrived. Cubed ice in bags is a reasonable backup, but requires significantly more of it to achieve the same cooling duration. A quality cooler is a long-term investment. Well-insulated coolers from brands like Yeti, Igloo, or Coleman can maintain ice for days when managed correctly and last for years. Keep the cooler in a cool location, not in direct sunlight, not in a hot garage. Drain water periodically, but do not drain completely. The cold water keeps the remaining ice from melting as quickly. Prioritize what goes in the cooler. Insulin and critical medications first. Then proteins, dairy, and items most expensive to replace. Non-perishables and shelf-stable items can survive at room temperature. If realizing that a simple cooler and $20 of block ice could save hundreds of dollars of food makes your blood boil, hit that like button right now. Done? Good. The item coming up next is ancient technology that becomes cutting edge during a grid failure because it works without any infrastructure at all. Number 5. A battery bank fully charged. Your phone is your most important communication device, your flashlight, your map, your source of information, and your emergency contact system. All of that collapses when the battery hits zero. A high-capacity portable battery bank keeps your phone alive for multiple charge cycles without any external power source. A 20,000 mAh battery bank can charge a modern smartphone 4 to 5 times from zero. That represents several days of careful use, enough to cover most outage scenarios. Quality battery banks from brands like Anker, RavPower, or Mophie cost between $30 and $60 at full retail and substantially less on sale. Keep it fully charged as a standing habit. A battery bank at 30% capacity when the outage starts is still useful but significantly less so. The charging habit is more important than the device itself. A discharged battery bank in an emergency is an expensive paperweight. Treat topping it up like locking your front door, something you just do before you go to bed. Consider a battery bank with solar charging capability for extended scenarios. They charge slowly from solar, but the charging is free and infinite in daylight. A 10-watt solar panel and a 20,000 mAh battery bank in a sunny window can maintain your phone indefinitely during a multi-day outage. Number 4 is the item that most people think they can substitute with something else, and they are wrong about that substitution in ways that matter significantly. Number 4. Warm clothing and sleeping bags. Rated for cold. In a winter power outage, your home loses heat faster than you expect. A well-insulated modern home loses approximately 1 to 2 degrees Fahrenheit per hour without heating. After 12 to 24 hours without heat in winter weather, interior temperatures can drop to levels that are genuinely dangerous for children, elderly people, and anyone with health conditions. The solution is not more blankets from your linen closet. Blankets trap heat, but do not generate it. The solution is quality sleeping bags rated for cold temperatures and base layers made from wool or synthetic thermal materials. A sleeping bag rated to 20 degrees Fahrenheit will keep an adult warm in temperatures significantly below freezing when used correctly. They typically cost between $40 and $120. Merino wool base layers maintain warmth even when wet, which matters if your situation involves dampness. Synthetic fleece is an effective and less expensive alternative. Layer intelligently. A wool base layer, a fleece mid-layer, and a windproof outer layer trap body heat effectively and can be adjusted as conditions change. Do not underestimate how quickly a cold house becomes a dangerous house in a serious winter event. A home that drops below 50 degrees Fahrenheit puts elderly people, young children, and anyone with health conditions at genuine medical risk. Warm clothing and proper sleeping gear are not a comfort upgrade. They are a safety requirement. The next item is the one that everyone knows they need and almost nobody actually has in proper working order. Number 3. Carbon monoxide detectors. With battery backup. Every year, grid-down scenarios cause carbon monoxide deaths that would not have happened under normal conditions. Here is why. When the power goes out, people improvise heat and cooking sources in dangerous ways. They run generators indoors. They use gas grills inside. They run camp stoves in closed kitchens. They bring in charcoal grills. Carbon monoxide is colorless and odorless. You cannot detect it by any human sense. It kills silently while people sleep. The Consumer Product Safety Commission reports that carbon monoxide poisoning causes over 400 deaths annually in the United States under normal conditions. Grid-down scenarios cause significant additional incidents. A carbon monoxide detector with battery backup costs between $20 and $40. It requires no power from the grid to function. It will alert you and your entire household before CO levels become dangerous, giving you time to get out and get air. One on every floor of your home is the recommended standard. One near any sleeping area is mandatory. Test the batteries every 6 months and replace the entire unit when it reaches the 10-year mark printed on the back. Comment below with the emergency item your household is most unprepared for right now. This is not optional preparedness equipment. This is the item on this list that most directly prevents a grid-down situation from becoming a fatality. Number 2. Physical maps and navigation knowledge. Your GPS works as long as your phone has battery. Your phone has battery for a few days at best with a bank. After that, you navigate with what you have, and if what you have is nothing, you are stuck in a very old and very avoidable way. Paper maps do not need charging. They do not need signal. They do not fail when the satellites are fine, but your screen is dead and your battery bank is exhausted. They are the original navigation system and they still work perfectly. A physical road atlas for your state and a detailed local map cost under $15 combined. They fit in your glove compartment and will last for decades. Knowing how to read a map is a separate skill from owning one. If you have not read a physical map in years, practice now. The skill atrophies faster than you expect in an era of turn-by-turn navigation. Knowing your local geography matters independently of maps. Know the locations of your nearest hospitals, emergency shelters, police and fire stations, and major routes out of your area. Know which roads flood during heavy rain in your area. Know which routes are passable without pavement in extreme weather. This is local knowledge that no map provides. In evacuation scenarios especially, people who know their area navigate better than those who depend on apps that cannot update in real time. Knowing 2 alternate routes home is a form of preparedness that costs nothing and takes 5 minutes to acquire. The item at number 1 is the one that most surprises people on this list. It is cheap, it is simple, and the majority of households with one have not verified it actually works recently. Number 1. Working smoke detectors. With fresh batteries, fire risk increases dramatically during grid-down events. Candles get knocked over. Improvised heating sources are placed too close to flammable materials. Overloaded extension cords spark. Backup generators run too close to the house. The National Fire Protection Association reports that 3 out of 5 home fire deaths occur in homes with no smoke detector or a non-functioning one. That statistic does not change based on the cause of the fire. It is the same number in normal conditions and in grid-down conditions. 3 out of 5. That number should stop you mid-sentence. A working smoke detector with fresh batteries costs $12 to $25. It requires no professional installation. It works for 8 to 10 years. It will wake you up in time to get out. A non-working smoke detector, dead batteries, disconnected after a cooking incident, past its 10-year replacement date, costs the same as a working one. It does nothing. Test every smoke detector in your home right now. Not after this video, right now. Press the test button on each one. If it does not respond immediately and loudly, that detector is not protecting you. Replace any detector that does not respond to the test button. Replace any detector whose batteries you cannot confirm were changed in the last 12 months. Check the manufacture date on the back of each unit. If any were manufactured more than 10 years ago, they are past their operational life and must be replaced regardless of whether they seem to function. During a grid-down emergency, you may be sleeping more deeply than usual, in unusual locations in your home, with improvised heating or cooking situations nearby. A working smoke detector is the single most important piece of emergency equipment in your home. It costs less than a restaurant meal and it has no substitute. That is 14 items. Most of them cost under $50 each. Together, they represent the difference between a manageable emergency and a genuinely catastrophic one. None of them require expertise to use. All of them require the decision to acquire them before you need them. Comment below and tell us which of these you are going to check or buy today. We read every single comment and we want to know your answer. There's another video coming up on your screen right now. Click on it. I'll see you there.